Aloha everyone! I'm here from my house again, and I have been looking through my library thinking, what book can I share with all of the children? And I remembered I have this very special book that has the most beautiful pictures. And one of the reasons I thought of it was I was driving on the road and I saw over the mountain, shining so bright, a beautiful rainbow that was shining with all the colors. So I have this special story to share with you today, The Kingdom of Beautiful Colors. But first, sitting up nice and tall, quiet your voice, be still every thumb, for out of my mouth a story will come. The Kingdom of Beautiful Colors. Once upon a time, a king ruled over the kingdom of beautiful colors. With yellow cornfields, green meadows, and blue forests. One day he told his 4 children, I have to go away on a long journey. So I've divided up my kingdom into 4 parts, one for each of you. If you look after your lands, a rainbow will shine brightly over them. If you do not, your rainbow will be dull and your people will be unhappy. When I return, if your rainbow is shining brightly, you can keep your lands, but if not, you will have no lands at all. When the king left, his children went up to the moon to ask their wise fairy godmother how to look after their lands and keep their rainbows bright. Farm your cornfields well and care for the cows that graze on your meadows. Always share the bread and milk with your people, she told them. Plant a young tree in your forests for every tree you cut down. If you do this, your lands and people will be healthy and happy. The eldest princess said to her brothers and sisters, it will be hard to learn how to look after the cornfields, the meadows, and the forests well. Why don't we each learn how to do one job well and work together? What a clever idea, said the middle prince and princess. But the youngest prince said, no, I can look after my land all by myself. It will be easy. The oldest brother and sister set to work. As a team, their rainbows shone brightly and they had time to rest. But the youngest prince was always very busy. One day, the young prince called out wearily, oh, I wish someone would look after my cornfields for a while. Just then, there was a rumble of thunder and a flash of lightning, and a little imp appeared. I will look after them, he said, and I ask for nothing in return. Oh, thank you, said the young prince, and he went for a rest. The imp's eyes glowed fiercely. Suddenly, magic plows began to work the land, seeds jumping into the furrows, and the corn grew higher and higher. Magic ovens baked mountains of bread, and the wicked imp stole it all. After 1 year, the fairy godmother came to visit the kingdom. She was pleased to see 3 rainbows shining brightly, but one had an ugly stain where the yellow light had been. She summoned the youngest prince. "Look at your rainbow," she scolded. "You have farmed your cornfields very badly, and your people are hungry." The prince was shocked to see the ugly stain. "I'm sorry," the prince said. Her fairy godmother said sadly, "You must try." And the prince said, "I will try." The youngest prince was angry. He cried, "Imp, you have ruined my cornfields and stained my rainbow. What will my father say?" "Don't worry," said the imp, throwing open an iron chest. "He will be too dazzled by all this topaz to worry about a rainbow." "Amazing," said the prince, accepting the chest of sparkling jewels. "Perhaps I can look after your meadows as well, your highness." "Oh, thank you," said the youngest prince, and he went fishing. The imp's eyes glowed fiercely. Suddenly, invisible hands began milking the cows, who never got a chance to rest. Buckets of milk were filled day and night, and the wicked imp stole it all. After 2 years, the fairy godmother came to visit again. She was pleased to see 3 rainbows shining brightly, but one had another ugly stain where the green light had been. She summoned the youngest prince. "Look at your rainbow," she scolded. "You have not cared for the cows that graze on your meadows, and your people are thirsty." The prince was shocked to see another ugly stain. "I'm sorry, fairy godmother," he said. "I'll try harder." The youngest prince was furious. He yelled, "Imp, you have ruined my meadows and stained my rainbow. What will my father say?" "Don't worry," said the imp, throwing open an iron chest. "He will be too dazzled by all these emeralds to worry about a rainbow." "Wonderful," said the prince, accepting the chest of sparkling jewels. "Perhaps I can look after your forests as well, your highness." "Oh, thank you," said the youngest prince, and went to visit a friend. The imp's eyes glowed fiercely. Suddenly, magic axes started chopping down trees all by themselves. The wicked imp did not plant any young trees, and he stole all the wood. After 3 years, the fairy godmother came to visit again. She was pleased to see 3 rainbows shining brightly, but one had another ugly stain where the blue light had been. She summoned the youngest prince. "Look at your rainbow," she scolded. "You did not plant a young tree for every tree you cut down." The prince was shocked to see yet another ugly stain. "I'm sorry, fairy godmother," he said. "I'll try harder." The youngest prince was enraged. He shouted, "Imp, you have ruined my forest and stained my rainbow. What will my father say?" "Don't worry," said the imp, throwing open an iron chest. "He will be too dazzled by all these sapphires to worry about a rainbow." "Incredible," said the prince, accepting the chest of sparkling jewels. That afternoon, after 3 long years, the king finally returned from his journey and came to see his youngest son. "Your lands are ruined," he roared. and so is your rainbow. If the lands are ruined, why not give them to me? Said the imp slyly. I have earned many priceless jewels, father, the prince added. The king paused for a moment, then ordered, Take me to the jewels. The prince threw open the 3 iron chests and looked hopefully at his father. Just then the fairy godmother appeared. Your Majesty, don't be fooled, she said. The wicked imp made these false jewels using energy he stole from your kingdom to trick you into giving him your lands. The youngest prince cried sadly when he realized the mistake he had made. The imp howled with rage. His eyes glowed angrily, and he disappeared in a rumble of thunder and a flash of lightning. He was never seen again. I'm sorry, father, the prince sniffled. I promise to look after our kingdom from now on. You will spend 7 years working with each of your sisters and brothers, the king told him. And so the youngest prince spent 7 years learning how to farm cornfields well, 7 years learning how to care for cows, and 7 years planting a young tree for every tree he cut down. His people were warm, dry, and happy, with plenty to eat and drink. All the while, the fairy godmother tried to release the stolen energy from the imp's false jewels until one day, after 21 busy years, the prince's lands were healthy, his people were happy, and his rainbow shone brightly again. He finally joined his sisters and brothers as a wise and worthy ruler of the kingdom of beautiful colors. The end.